This is the nitty-gritty, not so glamorous side of driving around the world.
If this is your first time here, we're Eric and Brittany Highland, and along with our 7-year-old son Caspian, we're attempting to drive around the world in our home, a 2021 Jeep Gladiator we call Dauntless. Our goal at Hourless Life is to give you a first-person point of view so that you feel like you're actually with us on the journey. So if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button. We'd love to take you around the world with us. In our last video, we took you on a wild 3-month ride around the entire southern United States. We celebrated my mother's life in Seattle, then flew to Denver and picked up our Jeep Wrangler, hung out with friends, hit up Disney World in style. Caspian caught his first fish. We got deep into the culture and flavor of New Orleans and wrapped up our time spending Christmas with our family. It was a very, very special video for us. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you missed it, we'll link it here. In today's video, we're getting Dauntless back on the road. We're leaving Chaclacayo, heading to Lima, and then down to the seaside town of Paracas. This video is unlike most overlanding videos that you'll ever see because this is the stuff that nobody shares. There are so many logistical hurdles required to make a journey like this a reality. So I encourage you to watch the video closely and pay attention to the details. This full-time international overlanding life can be extremely frustrating and challenging. But don't worry, we won't just have you taking care of odds and ends with us. Towards the end of the video, we're going to take you to 2 magical places, Las Ballestas and into Paracas National Reserve. We have a lot to cover, so let's pick up right where we left off. We've arrived back where Dauntless is parked, and we're filling out the paperwork required to get him back on the road legally so we can continue the journey. So as soon as we got to Carlos's shop, we started that process, so there was no delay on our end.
There was a group of Brazilian overlanders at the campground, and we were so fortunate to have their friendship during this long period of time that we ended up waiting on our temporary import permit.
This is what happens when you camp next to Brazilian overlanders.
We did our best to keep ourselves busy, taking care of little things around camp as well as bigger projects we knew we had to tackle.
Brittany took care of stuff around our home. Are you darning socks, Brittany?
Better believe it. Can't get smart wool socks down here.
Well, I started tackling the stuff regarding Dauntless, and the first up was the battery issue.
Our Jeep Gladiator has 2 batteries under the hood. One of them is a lot harder to get to than the other one. So here is Eric taking out our main battery. This is our first time doing this with the Gladiator.
All because I didn't disconnect it before we left for the United States, like an idiot.
Now, kids watch our channel. You have to watch your language.
All right, there it is.
1 down, 1 to go.
The easy one is out.
There are 2 ways to get at the auxiliary battery of the Jeep Gladiator. One is to go in from above, then you have to get past a lot of stuff, but the other way...
You can just pull back the fender liner, which is what I'm hoping to do. Thankful to my friend Greg McDonald on Facebook, who suggested I just take the liner out. That was the cover. And there you can see the battery, and now I just got to remove this battery and we should be able to take both batteries into the shop and get replacements.
So now that we have the auxiliary battery out, Eric is testing it to see what it's reading.
925, so it's low too.
So this is the little auxiliary battery. This is the main battery.
And the crazy thing is I took both batteries out and Dauntless is still making noise. It's chirping. Inside the lights, like where it says Prindle, park, reverse, all that, it's flashing. Dauntless has got a ghost in the machine.
With those batteries out, the interior of Dauntless looked like a disco with all of the lights flickering.
It was still flickering with no power whatsoever, and we were scratching our heads trying to figure out how it's getting power.
We finally figured out that it was the solar panel on the hood of the Jeep that was giving some kind of trickle charge. So you disconnected the fuse, and then Eric went off to find the new batteries.
It took us about 1 hour and 20 minutes to get here. They're already telling me that they don't have the smaller battery. They did say they could find the main battery, but they wanted to charge me 1,550 sol, which is about $410. These batteries are priced in the United States at half that price. When I mentioned that to Carlos, he's like, yeah, I think they're trying to take advantage of you. So headed to another place. Made it on the Uber to the second stop. My man Dionisio says he has them. So he's getting one from across the street over here. His guy just ran out over there to get it. And he says he has the aux battery as well. The couriers have just come back with the batteries. I'm going to check them out. This is the battery they brought, the Solite. It looks to be the exact same size. It's a little bit more powerful. And then this is the smaller of the two. It doesn't say 12 amp hours anywhere on it, but the box does say that. I mentioned I'm a disabled veteran, and our fellow overlander Matthew and Stacy are in the house. Matthew is going to help me put this auxiliary battery in. I've already put the cranking battery in. It's really hard for me to reach up like he is right now with my shoulders. So he's like, dude, I totally got you. So Matthew from Toyota World Runners, you guys check them out. They have a huge following, super cool couple doing amazing things. You guys go check them out. We have just finished with the battery. Start the Jeep. If it runs, let it run. What?
New batteries.
All right,
Let's go.
We've got it done.
Hop in.
Next up was figuring out what was going on with our solar panels that had been shipped to us from Australia. It looks like our solar panels are here. We're trying to figure out how to get them out of customs. Brittany is on the computer right now trying to translate a document.
This is the nitty-gritty, not so glamorous side of driving around the world. It's the part they don't tell you so much about, is that you're going to be stuck translating waybills.
They sent us the email and told us we have like 2 hours before.
Yeah, they were like, this has to be back by 6. And we're like, what? And we don't even know what half of this means. It's crazy.
We did our best with the forms that Customs had asked us to send them back, and hopeful that our tip would get unsuspended soon, we turned our attention to the next issue that we had to deal with regarding Dauntless.
The whole battery issue was obviously not planned. However, we did have 2 planned repairs for this time back in Peru, and one of them was changing out the fuel pump to pump fuel from our auxiliary tank into our main fuel tank.
We've got 17 gallons sitting in the spare tank, and we haven't been able to transfer it. Dauntless is almost empty, so we just want to get that transferred over, get that functional. And we are still waiting to hear back from Customs on our solar panels. That's a whole story. We'll tell you about that more specifically later. Carlos doesn't really have a lift. He has a hole. He goes underneath the rigs like this. This is the little fuel pump that we are replacing. That's where the fuel pump is located. Fuel transfer pump on the underside of Dauntless. It transfers fuel from our long-range America tank, which sits right here and holds 17 gallons, over to our main fuel tank, which sits on the passenger side and holds 22 gallons. Carlos is getting to work on the pump. This guy is very good at what he does from what we've been told by other overlanders. The fuel transfer pump is complete. We just finished setting up camp. Brittany's like, get me some shade. It is hot here in Peru. Super thankful that that's done.
With the fuel transfer pump replaced, we only had 2 outstanding issues. 1, we had not heard back about our temporary import permit, and 2, our solar panels were completely missing.
And since we were just killing time, we turned our attention to this object that we've been carrying since the start of our journey. This is a camera that Clay and Rochelle Croft from Expedition Overland graciously gave to us to take with us on the global journey that has been nothing but a paperweight. Clay gave us this camera. It's the one that he filmed Greenland with. Right. So we've never used it except for a couple times to try and take photos. And it is overwhelming to us because we're not filmmakers. It has been sitting inside Dauntless, just taking up space and adding weight to our kit.
I really admire Matthew from Toyota World Runners and his videography skills, and so when he agreed to give me a 101 class on the camera, of course I was going to take him up on the offer. So higher aperture is letting in
less light.
Here is the next chapter in the saga of how many things can go wrong with the Jeep today. So after our main cranking battery and the aux battery going bad and having to replace them, we woke up this morning and our tire was flat.
A couple days ago, Caspian had found an object, a foreign object inside the tire. It was somewhere up here, so it wasn't in the sidewall, it was in the tread. And I pulled it out and I sprayed some water on it. There was no bubbles, so I figured we were good. We're not good. Well, kudos to Caspian for finding it. I've let it go down a little bit too far, so I'm filling it up so I can try and find the leak, and then I'm gonna plug it up. So we used to have a spray bottle that we would carry around, and I think we got rid of it. So I asked our host if he had a spray bottle. He goes, no, you don't need a spray bottle, and he handed me this. He said, go fill it up with soap and water, put a hole in the middle, and spray it. And then you're good to go, and you will see it bubble. Right there, that's a hole.
There it is. It was such a small hole that it is not easy to get this inside to make the hole bigger. so that we can in turn put the plug in. But we are working on it, and of course it started raining. Can't make this stuff up. These are our beautiful Brazilian friends. Had 3 men trying to get this thing in the tire. Desperate times call for desperate measures. The newest, best idea is a ratchet strap to try to get this thing into the tire.
Sí.
Dale, uno más.
Uno más.
Uno más. Ahí. Ahí. That's some Brazilian ingenuity. It was my idea for the ratchet strap, but these guys came first. Now we'll see if it works.
The kiddos don't have a care in the world. They're not worried about the tire. So you guys know the running joke is that I don't cook very much. The problem is it's not a joke, and when I do cook, it's not really complicated or nice meals. I decided that this year I was really going to cook, and we're halfway through January and I'm doing an awesome job. I am making homemade marinara sauce. It's on right now. And homemade meatballs. I didn't even buy them this time. They don't look pretty, so I'm not going to show you. And I steamed broccoli. And I have Parmesan cheese, fresh grated Parmesan cheese. This is real. This is happening. And I'm recording this for posterity.
She made the meatballs from scratch, and she made the sauce from scratch, and she got broccoli.
Just have to get the Parmesan. We were in the middle of lunch when there was a knock at the gate, and we got a huge surprise. Our solar panels are here.
Thank you, REDARC, for sending this. Looks like we got a project on our hands now.
We didn't even know that they were through customs yet.
He goes, no, everything was already paid for by REDARC. Adwana was just waiting on those documents from us to release them, and they're here. Thank you again to REDARC for sending this to us and for even paying for the customs portion of that. Hopefully we can get them installed on Dauntless here really soon and start getting some sun onto our battery in the habitat. Tomorrow we plan on installing the solar panels. REDARC sent us all the materials except for the mounting stuff. And so we have got to go find it here. We're gonna go to a hardware store called ProMart. We need to find a sealant, maybe some primer, some stainless steel screws, and hopefully tomorrow we'll install the panels. 22 sold to get down to the ProMart. We're headed there now.
That's how bad the traffic is. We have to turn here. This Humvee, I don't know where he's going. He's going straight for us. There he goes. And the door's open. This guy is also turning left in front of us. Oh, he's turning too. And somehow we're gonna turn right where that Humvee is.
Are we gonna make it?
Nobody knows. Unclear.
Here we go.
Apparently this is the equivalent of a Home Depot or a Lowe's back home. So we're hoping we can find everything we need inside ProMart.
I think we got everything that we need for the installation, the painting, the stuff, adhesive, hardware, washers. I think we did it.
This is Brittany and Caspian's reward for coming with me to do all these menial things like getting parts for our vehicle.
This is a special Sunday morning. It's like an explosion of Oreo. We had a successful outing and we are back on our way to Dauntless. Step 1 of our solar panel installation is spray painting the mounting brackets. So for aesthetics and also so as not to draw attention to anything on the roof, we opted to get these spray painted. And by get these spray painted, I mean Eric is spray painting them. Thanks, Eric.
Just doing a first coat. We're gonna let it dry for about an hour. Let it get tacky and whatnot, and then come back and spray it again, and then a third coat. So three different coatings is my goal. And then once that's done, let it sit for 24 hours and hopefully we'll be good to go. The REDARC solar panel install was the entire process, and we're planning on doing a dedicated video on that process.
These are pretty new products from REDARC, so when we went on YouTube to try and find some kind of tutorial, we couldn't really find anything. So we're thinking that we'll put something together for those of you who might be interested.
So if that's you, if you're interested, make sure you subscribe right now and hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss it. That video is coming up soon. The good news is that we were able to get the solar panels fully done and installed, and holy smokes, these things are powerful. Our battery's never been happier.
But on the bad side, we had been waiting 15 days now for our temporary import permit to be reinstated, and we had heard absolutely nothing back. We were really happy to be surrounded by friends though during this time.
We have spent weeks with the Brazilians and they know how to cook it up. They're doing a big old party right here. These are all our Brazilian overlanding friends doing their thing. Brazilians know how to do this up. They bring their entire equipment here. They got wings, they got meat, they got zucchini, they got all kinds of stuff. They're even cooking up bread, skewers with stuff inside them. My man Leonardo doing it right here. Douglas, the master of the parrilla. There you go. They even brought a dog, dude. This was just given to me by our friends Leonardo and Renata. They have ours now, and so they're gonna put theirs up. Ahí estamos. Gracias. And our other friends here are also gonna put one up. Make sure y'all give these people a follow de us por ahí. Super great family.
Gracias.
We have been doing everything possible to get our tip suspension lifted. We have been sending daily emails. We had been calling. We had been researching. I actually took a 1.5 hour car ride down there, but nothing was working. By day 18, Brittany had had enough, and she launched a full-scale frontal assault on the Aduana website.
We are pretty desperate. We were just on an online chat with Sunat, the agency that controls whether we can drive or not. We've sent an email and now we are trying to make a phone call, but it's just like endlessly ringing.
It's pretty frustrating, and Brittany is relentless in getting me to do this over and over. You can see that.
I just hung up on us for the second time without them answering. All right, things are moving. We called another phone number. Someone actually answered, and we're connected via email now. And she just emailed somebody else to say, this file belongs to you. So basically she called out this guy who has our file assigned to him and he hasn't done anything with it. So I am really hopeful that something is gonna happen now.
We have to take care of real life stuff. Caspian's been asking for a haircut for the longest time. My man Jason is over here giving him a wash down after his haircut. My man Jose is from Venezuela and he has made his way down here to Peru to seek his life and fortune. So nice to meet these guys. Caspian, what do you think, son? What do you think of your haircut?
My hair is a little uncombed.
It's Monday, January 29th. We got here to this mechanic shop exactly 3 weeks ago. We finally just got word from Sunat that we have an appointment. It's for tomorrow at 10 a.m. Here's the catch. A lot of times the officials come here to the campground, take care of everything, and then we as overlanders can just take off to our next destination. But that didn't work out for us. Instead, we have to drive Dauntless about 2 hours to the office to get our paperwork done. So I'm honestly not super thrilled about that. I am happy that finally we have an appointment, that finally we're gonna get out of here. I'm just not thrilled at how it's all gone down, and I feel like it hasn't worked out for us very well and that officials have not really done right by us. But that's just my frustration talking.
It feels so strange to be back in Dauntless driving, knowing that we're going back out on the road. Brittany was just telling Caspian that this is our first time driving Dauntless in a long time.
Yeah, since the end of September. Gracias, Carlos.
Gracias, Don Carlos. Just like that, we are back on the road. We're heading to the Sunat office. There, the official is supposed to come out and lift our suspension on Dauntless so that we can legally drive on the streets. Right now we have permission because we have an appointment. Once that's done, we're heading south. How are you feeling, Brittany?
It feels surreal that we're finally back on the road. We've been waiting so long, and it was such a psychological game of not getting your hopes too high that anything would happen. I feel a lot of uncertainty. I just don't know what's coming up for us. I don't know how today's gonna go. I don't know where we're gonna end up. I know that it's rainy season, so people have been talking about road closures and potential landslides and potential flooding, so that's a big unknown too. And really, we just don't have as much time as we were hoping for. I think we decided we have to leave by the beginning of April, and it's basically the beginning of February, so we have 2 months.
Gone 7 miles, and now we're stuck in this traffic here. It's one lane splitter, another lane, another lane, another lane, and that bus just went off-road to get around this traffic. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 made-up lanes. The bus is coming back in from off-road.
I seriously just missed that van by like 2 inches.
Look at this truck. Talk about cover your load. This is just full of gravel.
It's just falling out.
I can't get around him because all
You have
these
to go
people are
behind him,
stopped.
sweetie.
This has cracked windshield written all over it. We took a toll road and we got really close to where we're going. We're only 10 kilometers away. How far is that, Brittany?
6 miles.
6 miles. We have 34 minutes left. That's Lima traffic. This is what we're looking at. It is totally stopped. I'm hoping that the official will see us sooner than our schedule. We're supposed to arrive at around 9:30. Our appointment's not till 10. And of course, the official told us, yeah, just park on the avenue. I'm gonna put my hazards on and park right here.
Really, baby?
Yeah.
Aló.
Buenas tardes, señor Pinto. Soy Eric. Aquí estoy afuera.
Excelente, ahí estoy saliendo.
Gracias. I called the guy, Señor Pinto, who's the official that's supposed to come down and do the revision. He sent me a WhatsApp message, said he's on his way, and that it's only supposed to take about 5 minutes.
Something crazy is going on right now, and I can't even fully believe that it's happening. He's telling us that he only wants to give us until February 21st, but that was our original date. So if we only wanted until February 21st, we never would have gone through the mess of suspending the tip, which took almost 2 weeks on the front end and 3 weeks on the back end. So we literally lost 5 weeks suspending our tip. I don't even understand how this can be, because if that's the case, we never would have suspended it, and it makes absolutely no sense. Eric is praying for patience, I can tell.
I'm hiding inside from the wind, but the official just got off the phone with the boss over in Paita. And what he said was they're going to give us till the 1st of April. He's going to stamp it, seal it, and make a copy and bring it back to us. It looks like we're getting this done. You guys would be bored out of your mind if I tried to explain it all to you.
There it is, our freedom stamp.
There it is,
We're
you guys.
free.
There was a whole thing. We were supposed to be here 5 minutes. We were here for over an hour and 15 minutes, but we had to argue our case. And so I was out there with the official arguing our case, explaining to them what the tip suspension is supposed to do and the fact that we actually presented it so far back that they should have given us at least until April 15th, if not into May.
They seem to have no idea what it was at all, so that was the hard part. I'm ready to go.
Let's do this. We are on the coast, getting out of the city of Lima, heading towards Paracas, and I am so thankful to be out of that mess. We've made it out of Lima traffic. We're on the Pan American. We're just fueling up. A few minutes ago, Brittany said she's never been so happy to be back on the Pan American. That's where we're at. We'll pick it up back when we get into Paracas, unless we see something interesting on the way there.
We just came around this curve, and there's this beautiful view of the Pacific coast with the surf crashing in, and everything is dusty and sandy, but the water just stretches into the distance.
We have been in Dauntless for 7.5 hours today. We're going to find the campsite, hopefully get set up and just relax after this long travel day. We should be just over here.
Doggy, Dad.
I saw him, baby. I saw him.
And I really don't want to squash this.
I won't squash him, my love.
Oh, there's a kitty cat too, Caspian. He'll be fine, babe. Just go as far as he wants you to.
This is where we're going to park. Brittany's already unlocking everything on Dauntless to get the tent set up. Let's see if Brittany can muscle this thing up. Normally I open it, but we just
Oh my gosh, it's so heavy.
we just added the solar panels.
Whoa, it's way heavier.
Come on,
Okay.
get on it. Let's go. Come on, push.
Oh my gosh, Eric.
Brittany, you need to
Baby,
bench press.
I can't get it up.
Come on.
I can't. It's too heavy.
All right, well, come down.
You can't tell me that wasn't hard to do.
I could have done it with one arm.
Oh my gosh,
You need
Popeye.
to work on, you need to work on your upper body strength.
Where's your spinach?
Now we've deployed the awning. Brittany said it makes a huge difference. It's 91 degrees out here. Caspian has found a friend. He's already playing in this pool. We've got a really nice little space here. This is Paracas Camp in Paracas, Peru. They've got a little seating area here. They've got Wi-Fi, they've got TV, and we are parked right over there.
We're on the Malecon in Paracas, and it is summer here, so this is the hot spot. A lot of people from Peru come here to vacation while the kids are out of school. We've seen some European tourists too, and just met a family from North Carolina, so everybody's here.
There are just restaurants after restaurants just like this all the way down. It's a really fun place to explore. It's a busy port this morning. All of these people are doing tours that are over here. There's buses showing up.
Oh, I feel a little frazzled because we've been moving fast this morning.
It was really complicated with the tickets because you have tickets for the park, tickets for the tax, and tickets for the boat. Everybody has to get their cut. I see some folks there getting into their boat. I believe this is going to be our boat.
Which one, Daddy?
This one in front of us with the green stripe. Muchas gracias por toda su ayuda. What kind of animals do you think we'll see?
I don't know. Maybe sea lions?
I think you're right.
Dolphins?
Maybe, I don't know. Definitely sea lions.
Possibly a turtle. Here we go.
Adios, Alon!
Adios.
It was too windy to record a lot of audio on our boat ride out to Las Ballestas, but the trip started with calm waters and we got a wonderful view of La Candelabro, a geoglyph carved in the side of a hill.
There's a lot of mystery around these lines right here. There are various hypotheses that have come forward, everything from UFOs to military strategy to ancient astronomers. And these lines have been around for the longest time with no real understanding of what they're doing there, but there are plenty of hypotheses regarding it.
So to me, the most viable hypothesis is that it represents a cactus, one of the hallucinogenic plants used by the ancient peoples, just because we saw that symbolism everywhere in Chavin.
After checking out the geoglyph, we headed further out. The waters got a little bit rougher as we approached Las Ballestas. And the first thing that we saw were these Humboldt penguins on top of this rocky outcropping.
We also got to see a formation in the rocks called the Man Looking Into the Sea. You can see his profile, his brow, nose, mouth, and chin peering down into the water. We also learned about the local sea lions, how since they don't have any natural predators in the area, they come here to Las Ballestas to breed and to have their babies.
We just got doused with seawater by a wave. I don't know if you can see it, but this is the best part of the journey. As we returned to Paracas Port, we were all ready to have some food, and earlier we had met some North Carolinians that swore about this place on the Malecón, so we went to check it out. We've come off the boat ride and stopped for lunch, literally a brunch. Caspian's having some eggs and bread. Brittany, what do you have?
This is a tamal de chancha, which is a traditional Peruvian dish. It's a tamale with pork in it.
And I have selected jumbo shrimp with a little bit of fresh salad and some French fries, which I won't eat fries, but the shrimp looks amazing. We had an enjoyable time exploring Paracas, but we still hadn't been to the one place that we came here for, and that was all about to change as we said goodbye to our friends at Paracas Camp and headed out.
We are off to Paracas National Reserve. I am really excited because this is why I came here, so I'm glad that we get to go before we leave the area.
Adios.
What do we know about this place, Brittany?
So Paracas is the biggest peninsula on the Peruvian coast, and it's all a national reserve. And so they have flamingos, they have a huge concentration of seabirds, sea lions, and just some really dramatic landscapes with cliffs and the ocean. Just really pretty. And there's areas that everybody goes to, but then there's more remote places where not everybody takes their vehicles out to, and that is where I am hoping to go to today.
We'll see about that. Buenas.
Hola, buenos dias.
See.
Wow,
Look at that.
this is quite a scene.
Feels like another world, doesn't it? It says you cannot drive on dirt. Miles and miles of this sandy desert right alongside the Pacific Ocean, surrounded by mountains. It's pretty cool. We have just made the turn to go up towards the cathedral. We're going to go see what's up here. We are arriving at La Catedral, which is a little mirador that we have to walk out to. It is so cool to be here. Right now we are heading over towards this mirador on this side over here. I'll show you what we see when we get there. That moment when you don't know what you're going to see over the edge. Wow. Look at that.
There used to be an arch across the opening until 2007 when there was an earthquake and it destroyed the arch.
Wonders that this kid has seen and will see in his lifetime. Caspian is all into using the binoculars right now. He said he wants to get his own set when he gets older.
The bird just flew off.
Did you get a chance to see it with the binoculars?
Yep.
Did you like it?
But I wasn't able to see the red.
Just just never know where Brittany's going to take us. She said, yeah, we're just going to take some back road to go to Huacachina. This is her idea of a back road. Look how beautiful this is, though. We just crested this hill, and all of a sudden we saw this beautiful blue water and these cliffs. I wish I had the camera rolling when that happened, because it was stark in contrast to all the sand that we've been seeing.
We are out in the Salt Flats area of Paracas National Reserve, and we've come upon some flamingos.
Brittany's really been working on her photography skills a lot lately, and she said, I want to get out and I want to take a picture of Dauntless driving through this with some dust behind you, so I want you to get some speed. So she's walking ahead of us now so she can position herself over there, and then I am going to fly down this road. Did you get the shot?
I think I got one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We are leaving Paracas National Preserve and on our way now to Huacachina, and that's where we plan to spend the night tonight. Brittany and I have something that we feel is very important that we share with the overlanding community at large, and that is that we need to be good ambassadors for the countries that we represent.
I follow a lot of Pan American travelers on Instagram, and so I've seen a ton of posts from Paracas National Reserve. There's always these epic shots of the rigs pulled right up to the edge of the cliffs overlooking the water, as well as these drone shots of just soaring images of trucks riding through the desert in Paracas.
And we wanted to do that. I mean, that's part of what attracted us there, but there are signs all over Paracas National Park that said you cannot drive in these areas.
Yeah, it's a national reserve, just like we have national parks and protected areas in the United States. If we're not going to break those laws in our home country, why would we break them in Peru?
We see a lot of the locals doing it, and law enforcement officials here really don't enforce it. But it doesn't change the fact that we need to protect these areas. We need to be good ambassadors and follow their rules so that these areas are protected for future generations.
At the end of the day, it really comes down to self-governance and just knowing in our conscience what's best for the environment and doing that. So we're just asking that you would consider all of this as you're overlanding around the world.
Speaking of overlanding around the world, where are we going next?
In our next video, we go to an oasis surrounded by massive sand dunes, and I take 7-year-old Caspian and we hike to the top at sunset. And if that weren't enough, we're then going to take you to the location of the famous Nazca Lines.
There's so much goodness coming up, so this is your reminder to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon so you get notified when our next video comes up.
And if you want to go behind the scenes and get to know us on a much deeper level, then please consider subscribing to our Patreon. It's the place where we get really raw about what it's like to take a journey like this as a family.
We hope you've enjoyed this part of our journey around the world, and until next time, we will see you in the next video.